Next up, we have Tammy Wise. Tammy's one of those people that, there's a theme here. It's a little demure at first, although you probably won't see that when she's on stage. But man, is she fierce and committed to her work in the world. She is the widely respected mind-body fitness expert from New York City. She's the owner of Body Logos and the author of The Art of Strength, Sculpt the Body, Train the Mind. She's a former Broadway dancer turned Dow minister, and she was voted Best of Fitness by Time Out New York twice. She's appeared and blogged Martha Stewart's Whole Living magazine and e-zine. Editorials include New York Magazine, Natural Health, Fitness, and Shape. She's a Transformational Authors Contest winner, a regular contributor for Honeysuckle Magazine, Thrive Global, and Medium, and here to share her genius with you today. Please welcome Tammy Wise.
I'm a Jersey girl and a biker chick. Tough and independent. Was my identity until I realized tough is protective gear masquerading as strength. But I knew I earned my tough stripes when my brother-in-law let my sister ride with me up into the Adirondacks. We both rode on our own bikes straight into a huge rainstorm. When the clouds parted, we got off the interstate and we found an outdoor event at a Harley-Davidson dealership. Hundreds of bikers were gathered with shiny bikes wearing their finest gear. We looked like muddy drowned rats. We took off our rain gear and our helmets, and the crowd realized the two drowned rats were two beautiful redheads. At the time, we both had long red hair. In an instant, we went from outcast to center of attention, and they awarded us a trophy for being the best-looking bikers in the bunch. And to this day, we refer to this ride as my sister's Freedom Run. Truth is, we weren't really free. We had to ride that rainstorm to prove ourselves. Tough is celebrated. It's sexy, it's fierce, it's alluring. Maybe because it's untouchable. I mean, we're not born tough, it's learned. It's built out of fear and, in my case, replaced tears. My childhood was riddled with trauma. I was my father's perverse love interest from the age of 10 to 13. Sexual abuse compressed my body. I felt like a wool sweater shrinking in a hot dryer. Nobody noticed. I didn't tell. My mind followed the same implosion with self-damning beliefs. I'm not worth protecting. I'm certainly not good enough to be really loved. True or not, this made sense out of what was happening. I learned to toughen up, and silence was safety. My body's tension and my mind's twisted beliefs ran my life. So how do we get over the traumas and disappointments of our life stories? Dance rescued me. I got good at it. I landed on the Broadway stage in a chorus line, fresh out of high school. Dance class was and continues to be my therapy, but not for the reasons you might think. It isn't the freedom of expression as much as it is the recognition of where I'm not free to express that makes it therapeutic. I reckon we all have places we don't feel free to express ourselves, right? I can recall standing at the ballet bar, silent tears running down my cheeks, triggered by my ballet teacher's tough love, perfection-oriented barks, working so hard to try to be everything they wanted me to be. but believing I wasn't good enough. While ballet class taught me to stand aligned, I felt the compression of a soldier at attention. Everything was not beautiful at the ballet for me. Years later, when I evolved into Middle Eastern dance and started performing with a sharp, heavy sword on my head, did I master releasing the grip of my story through my alignment, an influence that changed my life. My muscles' tension would just give in to my bones' gentle stretch between earth and sky as I met the sword's weight. It offered my body a natural precision that was strong and knowing. The sword taught me less is more. The requirement was to listen. Listen past the emotional reactions for a deeper, quieter essence of my true self. The self we all feel in our bones. And to listen for the wisdom trapped in my tension. What were the beliefs running my life? When attending seminary to become a Tao minister, my marriage of 10 years was crumbling. I'd go to the gym, work out my frustrations, and regularly find myself obsessed with chin-ups. Wow. Awfully hard exercise when you're feeling your lowest of lows. But I would cry out with each rep, feeling more and more vulnerable as I reached muscle failure. And somehow, feeling my weakest introduced me to my strength. I suddenly realized why I chose chin-ups. I needed to strengthen my back, which I saw as a turtle shell protecting me from other people's demands and expectations. I'd lived a life basing my decisions on the desire to please. Now I desperately needed the space to figure out me. To connect to myself rather than defend myself, I needed to feel my body's message. Chin-ups. They contract the back muscles as they open the chest muscles. The message was clear. I had to open my heart enough to include myself. So I did more and more and more chin-ups. It didn't save my marriage. But as I opened up, I lightened up, and I learned to love me. In that moment at the chin-up bar, I saw the muscular body as an emotional blueprint that told our life story. How every muscle group is charged with an emotion that relates to how they help us survive and thrive, like the back carrying the emotion of protection. Let me tell you how the body organizes itself. Emotions are stored in the body's soft tissues. These are muscles, sinews, organs. Trauma, disappointment, judgments, expectations, they all produce tension in the tissues, causing misalignment in the bones, felt as pain and weakness. This misalignment is chock full of emotional tough stuff, and it amplifies our vulnerability. Two different things. The tough stuff lives in the muscles as tension and relates to your unresolved story. Vulnerability lives in your bones as strength and relates to your sense of belonging. What I want us to hear today is rather than aligning with the tough stuff, It's critical that you align with your vulnerability. If you feel your vulnerability stretched through your skeleton as strength, you are not aligning with a twisted belief. You're aligning with a truth. Feeling vulnerable is touching unrealized strength. Imagine what you could do if you believed in what you feel in your bones and you aligned with your true self. You would have the strength to touch the tough stuff and let go of the tension and the beliefs that take you down. To get past habitual reactions and pain and angst. Change your posture. You will change your life. Listen and feel. Change is a mind-body collaboration. So now we're at the big question. Once you relax your tension, how do you recognize your strength? When my dad came into my room at night, it was dark and scary, and my little body would be coiled up like a caterpillar. And then, bam! I'd be outstretched between earth and sky. This inner space replaced my body's compression. There was light everywhere. Suddenly, I was in an altered reality of absolute integrity. I felt accepted, even relevant, basked in love, aligned with myself, strong. The difference between tension and strength was discernible. Tension is the fear of not belonging. Strength is sourced in belonging. But that experience of belonging would be stripped away as quickly as it was given, as I would be snapped back into my body's tension-filled reality. I was living a ping-pong game between tension and strength that was completely out of my control. And I wanted the mastery to choose my own path. This is what drove me to dance from the very start, to learn to align with that altered reality of my childhood and live the gift that I'm never alone when I'm aligned. Just like the universe, we all have a center of gravity in our low abdomen. It's our personal sun. When we balance the rise and fall of our own weight from our own center, we stand in the equipoise of our own strength. But when we drop into the earth and we neglect the upward rise to the sky, we create imbalance. We literally stand down rather than stand up. Now we have to chase a strength outside of ourselves. Learning to stand up, it's a human condition. I mean, we all have places we stand down and wish to stand up. I bet you can think of one right now. Here's the mastery. You don't have to live like a ping pong game between absolutes. You can carry both sides of yourself at once. A sense of belonging between you and the universe through your bones. And touching the tough stuff between you and your past through your muscles. It's in the relationship that you resolve tension. At 50, I stood up to my toughest of tough stuff, and it literally transformed lives, my own and my dad's. I unveiled the powerless shame I carried for him. I stood under the influence of my sword. And then I rose up with silk veils. I cut through the tough stuff, and I embodied the grace of true alignment, the grace of truth. My father died 2 weeks later, and I relinquished my silence. We all know that gravity connects us to the earth, but it's also what beckons us to rise up and meet the heavens. This is the art of strength, the title of my book, Relaxed on the inside and strong on the outside. Let's do a freedom run all together. It takes 3 breaths. You're going to sit forward in your seats, tall in your body, and imagine a sword on your head. Both hands on your low abdomen. Let your eyes close. And follow my words. Take a deep breath into your hands. And as you connect with your center of gravity, 3 fingers below your belly button between front and back planes of the body, listen for the soft voice of wisdom. If thoughts distract you, release their muscular grip. Take another deep breath and feel. Feel your pelvis and your legs be supported by the earth. Pinpoint the places you don't let the earth support you. Can you let go? Can you experience the weight of your bones? Take one more deep breath and align. Elongate your spine, neck, and head above your center of gravity. With intention and ease, yawn into your true height. Feel for a balanced connection between the earth and the sky. And imagine this connection expanding until you feel in your bones that the universe is for you, not against you. And keep expanding until you have an altered reality of your strength. As you gently open your eyes, let that altered reality be your new reality. Practice alignment as relaxed strength. Thank you.